I was 19 or thereabouts. Dave and I were somewhere between the Bay Area and Sacramento. We had pulled into a gas station to fill the Mustang with what was at the time some 97-cent a gallon gasoline. I was leaning on the back of the car as the pump clicked off 18 gallons. Dave had wandered off to the snack shop for some Slim Jims and maybe a pair of rubber sunglasses. A 1970 green Ford Torino pulled up to the pump behind me. A young mom was driving the car. A Torino at the time was just a sedan. Today they command big money. Why this is, I don't know. They were worth about $1,000 back then if you were lucky. She stopped the car and got out. This was a time before car seats, so her children were running back and forth in the back of the vehicle, not strapped to anything. I cocked my head to the side and saw a puddle forming under the front of her car. It was dripping pretty quickly from the driver's side, spreading out onto the concrete. This was a Ford. I knew Fords. The fuel pump was on that side on the front of the engine. It was gas. I watched the fuel start to run across the ground as she innocently grabbed the filler nozzle and flicked open the filler cap on the back of the car. At this point, Dave was wandering back from the convenience store. I pointed to the growing puddle. This was dangerous. Dave said, "Fuel pump." I spoke up. I asked the young mom, hiding any sarcasm, hey, are you getting really bad gas mileage? She responded that it was just terrible. I motioned for her to come over and take a look. "I'm pretty sure that's gas," I said. I asked her to do me a favor. "Why don't you take your kids out of the car and go sit on that bench over there, and Dave and I'll fix the leak." She was hesitant, probably concerned that two random guys were offering to fix her car, but the puddle was getting worse. She gathered her kids up and went and sat on the bench. This was Sunday. The garage was closed. Dave threw the hood open and I made the short trek over to the snack shop. The girl at the desk was not cooperative. I told her I knew the shop was closed, but I needed about a foot of 5/16 fuel line. She told me that Steve was not here and I would have to wait until the shop was open. This girl needed an education. I followed with, "I'm not buying it, I'm taking it. That nice mom's car over there is leaking fuel all over the place and we're going to need to fix it before the car explodes and takes her and the kids with it." I received the silence I was looking for. I walked into the shop and cut a section of fuel line. I pointed it at her as I walked out and said, "See ya." I met Dave back at the car. He and I split the old fuel line off the fuel pump and replaced it. We also put in another 4-inch section while we were there that looked a little rough, checked for leaks, and closed the hood. The nice mom returned from the park bench with her kids, clearly grateful. We explained what we did and she insisted on paying us for the work. We, of course, refused. "Your gas mileage should improve considerably," Dave said, accompanied by his signature crooked smile. She told us she had a long drive ahead and was relieved the mystery of the vanishing gasoline had been solved. The pleasant young mom loaded her kids back in the car and waved and smiled as she drove off. Dave and I hopped back in the Mustang and were on our way. He and I were totally pleased with ourselves. A simple fix for us that meant everything to a nice girl with 2 kids. Years later, I recalled the moment. The fuel pump on a small block Ford V8 engine is located directly ahead of the exhaust on that side. It is very possible that if the leak had continued, the car would have caught fire. In fact, it probably would have. I lost track of Dave not too long after that. He moved to Citrus Heights with his grandmother, got married to a girl named Susan, and that was it. He evaporated. I miss him often. He's one of those friends I lost track of long ago that when a number pops up on my phone that I don't know, I do hope it's him.